My boyfriend said when we first started dating that he didn't believe that I was an introvert. And now, 2 years in, he's like, I believe you that you're an introvert. We just went on a business trip and it was nonstop booked travel, always something going on, starting at 8 in the morning, 15-hour time difference, a lot of other people involved. And it just exhausted me. And no one knew I was exhausted. My whole life, I've always been very positive, very optimistic. And I like that about myself because even if I don't feel like doing something, I'll force myself to do it and I'll force myself to have a really great attitude while doing it. And then usually, because I force myself to have a great attitude, usually I do end up getting enjoyment from it. But when it's like nonstop scheduled things with nonstop people, I hit a big time limit and a big time wall. And this most recent time, my boyfriend was like, I want you to be honest with me with how you're feeling. I want you to be honest with me with how you're feeling. So I'm like, okay. So we would end an activity and I would tell him exactly how I actually feel. And he's like, oh, wow, I had no idea you were feeling that way. And I was like, well, it's because I want everyone to have a good time. This isn't all about me. And, there are some definite things to enjoy, but it's been days and days and days of me not having my morning routine, of me not having alone time. And it's like, it's gonna wear on me more and more and more. And I'm at the end of 2 months of business travel, nonstop conferences, nonstop being with people. And I've definitely hit my limit. I maintained a positive and happy outward persona, which is important to me because I always want everyone else to have a good time. And I either need to be not subtracting from their fun, or I need to be adding to it, or I need to just remove myself. And usually I choose to remove myself. But I was looking up introverts and the definition of introverts and watching YouTube videos about introverts, and it made me feel so much better because sometimes I just think something's wrong with me. How can everyone else be having such a great time and they want to spend more and more and more time together? And I just want to be by myself. Like, how is that possible? And just to clarify, I love my relationships and I love being helpful. I love it when I can have a one on one conversation or even a group conversation and be super helpful or learn something from it and listen. I love that. That definitely feeds my heart. But when I don't have alone time, I think that's when everything just starts to go sideways for me. And so I'm at the point now where I just want to be by myself. I want to make all my own decisions. And I was feeling selfish and stuff on the trip, but I don't think it's selfish to just be introverted and need to recharge and need to make my own decisions and need to not ask anybody, oh, do you want to do this? Or, oh, do you want to do that? Like, just to be able to just do what feels good to me and take the time to be by myself. And walking here by myself, I love California. I'm in California. It feels so good. I am feeling recharged as I walk. I'm finally at the end of all of my big trips that I had planned, and most of them I had to do for business. So I'm just so glad they're done. So glad. I can't even tell you. I'm still thinking about selling my house or renting my house out and just going and doing Airbnbs and being with my dog in different beautiful places where I could take beautiful walks. I'm still on that train of thought. But right now, I just need a break. Just need a break. Do you feel me? Where are my fellow introverts who love to be alone? I just feel like I could be alone a lot. Like I could just be alone all the time. I feel like I wouldn't even get lonely. Maybe I would. I'll update you. Hmm. So, right when we got back from traveling for nearly 24 hours, I had a bunch of business calls and they were all brainstorming calls with potential new clients. And I thought I would just be exhausted and be like, why do I have these calls booked? Why didn't I take a day off? And I was so happy to do the calls. And it's interesting because coming off of all that time with other people, I just really do want to be by myself. But then I loved my brainstorming calls. And my boyfriend said, he's like, I'm so confused. I don't know what you want because it always changes. And I'm like, I know, I don't know what I want either. And I think the reason is growing up, I never thought about what I wanted. If I was ever going to think about what I wanted, I would think I was being selfish. And it was like, put others first, put yourself last. And I told my boyfriend, I really don't know who I am or what I want. I am trying to figure it out. And I am going to say I want something and then realize I don't want it. And that's just the way it's going to be. And he was like, okay. Because if you would have asked me, I would have wanted to do nothing all day. And then I was so glad I had my calls to do. I don't know. I'm glad we're on this journey together. Let me know how you feel about being introverted or extroverted or ambiverted or anything verted. I never really believed in, well, it's not that I didn't believe in them, but I never wanted to learn about personality types before because I never wanted to put myself in a box and say, this is me, and then think that was the only way I could be. But now I'm starting to realize their value because the personality tests and the personality types makes you realize you're not alone and you're not a bad person for feeling the ways you're feeling.